Assalamualaikum. I'm from Dapur Mami Flomas. So I'm going to teach you another dish which is very famous in India, which is called a chatney. They also have two kind of chutney normally in India, where you can get a sweet chutney or a savory chutney. But what I'm going to do today is a sweet chutney, which is very tasty to eat with your special rice like biryani, ghee rice, or with prata. Okay, chutney is very well known in India and is also called the homeland of chutney and pickle. So let's do what we have to do today, a special dish for everybody just to try for your dinner. Here I have tomato. It's about 1 kilo a tomato which is really ripe and very juicy and very nice. And I also have here some onions, which is Bombay onions, or you can use the Holland onions. Beside that, I also have some chili, red chili, which is I'm just going to dice and put in. I have few sticks of cinnamon, some we call honey star, and also cardamom. Okay, here there is some oil, which is about 2 tablespoons or 3 tablespoons as you like. I have some salt, and then sugar, white sugar, and also turmeric. I'm going to dice more of this tomato as you like, big chunk, because it's going to mash into the sauce that we're going to make it. Okay, so I don't blanch it to remove the skin or whatsoever, because the skin will give a nice aroma to the chutney. Okay, so you finish up all the 1 kilo tomato that you have. At the same time, we're going to chop up some onions. The onion now, you can just slice it, because you won't have to make it into a cube or a whatever cubes you like, but I just slice it. That will be also simple and easy to do it, because this is I'm going to saute into the oil and give some aroma from the onion that we already sliced up. Okay, so for the chilies that we have here, I'm going to just make a slide into it, and then just try to remove some of the seed. You know, if you have a lot of seeds, you can just remove, because you do not want it to have in your sweet chutney a lot of seeds from the chili. Okay, so let's remove it. It's easy, as you can do it either with a knife, or you can use a small spoon and just go across into it and just move the seed up. Okay, so here what is I've done. Maybe I just need maybe 2 chilies, not more than that. If you want to make a hot spicy chutney tomato, you can also do it. Then just add some chili powder and mix together into the sauce. And you can also add some vinegar if you want, because vinegar will give some sourish to it. But what I'm going to do today is no vinegar added, but sugar. So it's just sweet, and you just have some taste of the heat from the chili. Okay, just heat up the pot, and we just, after you can see the water dry from the pot, because I've washed the pot first earlier. Then you can just pour in the oil. So okay, let's pour. It's still not dry yet. We just give some time to let the water dry out completely from the pot, and we just add in the oil. Okay, all the oil that I have it there. Okay, now just make it hot a while. Now I'm going to saute in the onions and make it slightly golden colors before I add the tomato in. Maybe 1 big onions, or just 1 medium size, and half of the other size, small one, will be just enough, because we just want to give enhance the flavor from the onion mixed with the tomatoes. When you talk about chutney, there's so many kinds of chutney that you can find. I mean, in India, while I was there in India, I tasted different kind of chutney. And here in Malaysia too, we can find when we go for a dosa, and then we have the coconut chutney, the tomato chutney, and the dal, whatever, just to mix with your dosa, okay? But the one that is sweet one is really lovely. I love it so much because it's tasty to go with biryani, ghee rice, and other kinds of rice, and also prata. When you have something savory to it, you just have some sweet to it. Voila! I'm going to add a few sticks of cinnamon and honey straw and also the cardamom. Okay. Okay, now let's put in all the tomatoes inside that we have already cubed up and let it simmer for a while. I do not add any water because the tomato itself will be dissolved and have a lot of liquid in it. Now you can just stir and make it mix with all the onions and leave it for some time to let it dissolve and get it soft. You can see it already dissolved, most of the time already dissolved, and later you can also see the skin. Now I can show you the skin is being separated. This is what will be the texture look like for the sauce that is completely done. It's really nice. I love it. Okay, so now what we can do, we just have to add some turmeric to it, because turmeric will not only give the taste but also give you the color to the sauce that we're making now. Okay, it gives it like more reddish, orangey, you know. You can see it now. So you see, firstly, sometimes when you don't get a really ripe tomato, it's not going to give you a nice color. It's going to be a big peel. But what I'm going to do for this is really nice. You can see it's more red in color and also orange because there's some turmeric added to it. Okay, so you can add the chilies that is being seeded out. Okay, so I'm going to add a few chilies so that it gives some heat to it. Okay, and then at the same time you can add sugar. Sugar is up to you. I have here more than 4 tablespoons of sugar because I want to give the sweetness to it. If you don't like so sweet, you can just lessen the sugar, or you can add extra sugar because sugar will make it thicker into the sauce. You won't have to add any cornstarch or any flour to it to make it thicker. It doesn't need all that. It's just natural. When you put the sugar will thicken up the sauce. You know, if you love to have some sour to it, just add some vinegar, maybe 1 tablespoon or something, and you get. But I think tomato is just enough for the acidity and the sweetness of it. At the same time, now I'm going to add some salt to it. Okay, be generous to the salt so that you get a taste to it. Okay. As you see earlier, the tomato was so juicy, so I've never add any water to it because one is already dissolved. It give up all the liquids, and then I just make it thicker with sugar, you know, and keep stirring. After some time, it takes me more than 20 minutes, I think, just to get it thicker up, you know. So if you want it to be more thicker, then just keep stirring so that it does not burn at all, and then you can make it. When it's cold, keep it in a jar where you can store in the fridge for more than 2-3 weeks. More than that, sometimes I keep it more than a month, you know. And you can make it a dip with potato chips too, if you like, because that is something that's salty and go with this, you know, sweet. It really blends up nicely. And this is also a healthy, snack to go with it because it's all from fresh fruit that we make. Wow, such a very nice texture of the tomato chutney. I love it, this is. So if you want it to be a bit watery, you can do it, but this is really a nice texture. Voila.